Hey, Jimmy here. Welcome back to the channel. So today's Friday. It was a green day for me. Overall ending the week green. I took 2 trades today for a total of a little over 2R. I want to break down those entries, those exits, show you my thought process on all of them, and they actually didn't come off my initial list, gap list, gainer list in the morning. I actually found them on the fly, and I'm going to show you exactly how I found those. So let's jump in. All right, let's start off with MDB, and I've got the charts up right here on it, and both plays this morning were 3-bar plays, which and they actually showed up on different time frames, so I'm going to show you how they kind of played out. But if you look at the MDB chart on the 2-minute right down here, you can see this big igniting bar with this beautiful pause and then a rip higher. So this was a perfect 3-bar play. The problem is I completely missed that one. I never saw that one. So the one that I ended up playing was the 15-minute chart. And if I bring that here, so on this chart, this is what I was looking at. I saw this igniting candle top out right here. We had this one rest, and then I put my order, my stop limit order to go long at the high of this candle, which was 156.28. So at 156.27, and I put my order at 156.28 right here to go long. And what happened, and let me bring it over to this chart just so you can kind of see it a little better. You can see big igniting candle, big pause, and then a rip upward. This pink dashed line, that's actually where I took my profits. So we got up nice and high, and the thing I was concerned about on this was if I flip over to the daily chart, you can see on this, it was a beautiful setup. We had a pivot high here, pivot high there, I'm sorry, pivot lows. Then we get this pivot, pulls back, and then we rip up and we ignite above that. So we broke out above this pivot, this one, and this one. So, and we're above the 200 simple moving average. So this was a beautiful setup as far as the environment to take a 3-bar play. So if I flip back over to the 15-minute chart, you can see all this over here. We ignited above that, we paused, and then we ripped higher. The problem was the market was up really big, and we're up here, and we're way overextended, and we started to kind of slow down during this 15-minute candle. And if I go back to the daily chart for just a second, see how big this candle is? The average true range for MDB is about $8.57. Well, you can see the high on today was 169, and we started off at 147. So a stock that has a normal range of 857 was doing $22 today. So that's why I was getting a little uneasy when things started to slow up. I was like, this thing has already done a lot more than it normally does. So I felt like I should have been happy with the profit that it was giving, because the stop loss on this thing, you know, right here, I had a stop loss on MDB of $2.75. Let me bring up my trade log on that. So my stop loss on MDB was $2.75. So I needed to make 550 to go 2-to-1. And 550 for 2-to-1 was this dashed green line. So you can see how insane this stock was this morning. It ripped up. I took all my profit out here at 1.3-to-1. Then it just ripped, pulled back, and ripped. So I got out at 160. It went another $9. This was just an amazing stock this morning. And you know, it begs the question, if you get close to your target, you know, if I would have held a 2-to-1, you know, do you take 75% of your shares off and move your stop up nice and tight, maybe under this wick here, and then just give it room to keep drifting, or do you take it all right here? It's something that I'm always debating and thinking about, so it's kind of a curious thing. But MDB was amazing, amazing trade, amazing daily chart, great momentum. The market helped everything. If I bring up the SPY this morning, you can see how important the overall SPY is for the market. So from here, rip all the way up to 288.85, and then it sort of lagged out. But this is no doubt what pushed a lot of stocks up today. So now I'm going to flip over to the daily chart, and I'm going to show you the second trade I took today. So that was a winner for 1.3, and then the second winner I took today was on PG, Procter Gamble. And what I liked about this one was you can see how Procter Gamble's just been working its way up, slowly grinding. Then it puts in this pivot here and then breaks that today. So that was the initial trigger. The good environment was that it had broken a previous pivot on the daily chart. So when I flip back over, and maybe just for a second we can flip over to this sort of quad-like chart, what you can see here is that PG, let's roll this back. So PG opened up, it was strong right out of the gate and then pulled back. But if you come over to this 15-minute chart, you can see this rip up with a pause. So if I flip over to this big chart here so you can see it better, big igniting candle, breaking up all the way over the pre-market activity. It made me a little hesitant because it was such a big move relative to everything. And if I go to the daily chart, the ATR on this one is $1.55. And we opened up here at 107.74. And the high of the day ended up going 109.38. So we went, well, not quite $2. So it was within the range. So that was actually pretty good. So it was a good one to be thinking about trading. But on the 15-minute chart, we had this big igniting candle, and then we had this pause. And this pause had a little baby mini break that happened while I was getting my order placed. So I was curious to see what was going to happen with it. And then this candle opened and pressed down. You can see that lower shadow, that lower wick. And I had my order in to go long above the high 108.81, so 108.82. And I was waiting to see what was going to happen. And then it broke and it just legged up really nicely. And I started watching this one on the 5-minute chart. And so we had the pullback and then we started moving up. And so here's what happened on this one for me. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green bars, and it was struggling at 109. And I thought, okay, maybe 109 is going to cause a bounce because we're overextended. The overall market's overextended. Everything's up. So I was almost ready to close my position at 109. And I had a 45-cent stop on this with a 90-cent take profit. So this purple line, this is 90 cents. This is this is 90 cents. My take profit at 2-to-1, the green line. Here's where I took my profit. We were at 109. I had the time in sales. There was a struggle at 109. Watching the tape, and then it broke. It ran all the way up here, pushed up above, sagged back down, and it started to go red on me. And the red was just getting bounced right at this level of like 109.25. And I thought, can 109.25 be a little psychological overhead resistance? I'm not sure. And it started, and then the market also, the SPY started to sag a little bit, and I said, it was almost like psychologically it was Friday. I was up over 2R, and I just cut the trade right there. Took my profits, and luckily I did because it bounced around a little bit and then sold right off. So it never hit 2-to-1 target on Procter Gamble. So if I look at my sheet here, you can see, yeah, it didn't hit 2-to-1, but it did hit 1R. So before I forget, I want to go ahead and show you how I'm scanning for these during the day. I told you in the intro that I didn't find MDB or PG prior to the market open, so I want to show you how I'm doing that. So if you go to the Scan tab on Thinkorswim, you can come over here and you can load a scan query. And I just have one set up that is a change gainers large cap. And basically what it is, I just look at stocks from $10 to 300, or sometimes I just have $10 up to $1,000, and then percent change is 0 to 1,000% on that. And then my market cap, I look at basically 2 billion and up, which signifies mid to large cap and higher, which is what I personally like. And then you can add an average volume to only filter stocks that have sufficient volume during the day, or you can just take that out and just really look at $10 to $1,000, 0% to 1,000% gain. Market cap, this is really the most important one, because this 2,000 million, that's 2 billion, that just allows me to avoid getting penny stocks and pump and dump stocks and weird things to get deposited on my list. So that's really as simple as it is. And then I hit the scan button and I've basically got it all right here. And if I'm concerned about volume, I can just click this tab over here and filter it, order things by volume, so I can see BYND, the biggest volume on my list. But I know all of these typically will have shares to short, and they have lots of volume, so they're very liquid. You're not going to have trouble getting in and out of these stocks. And then the way I set this up was I could name this. So you can see up here, I named this percent change gainers large cap. So if I flip over to my charts, I can be trading, looking at my charts, and I can open this side tab over here. And then what I do is I have these widgets on the side that you can open and close. So I have personal percent change gainers large cap. I click that. Now if I open that one up, it's that same list we just saw, but it's right here. And what I like about that is, let's say I click the first one and I'm looking at stocks. Now with my arrow keys, all I do is push down. So if I'm watching, say I'm watching the 1 minute chart for a 3-bar play right away in the morning, I just watch the 1 minute chart and I do this. Arrow down, arrow down, arrow down, and I'm literally just going from stock to stock looking for the right pattern. But you can see on the left over here, it's going through all my stocks over there. So now I'm down to TQQQ, then I'm down to YY, then STM, then SNY, and I can just keep an eye and roll through all the stocks. And when I see something set up, then I stop, I watch it to see if it's truly going to start setting up like a 3-bar play, and if it does, I flip over here. I flip over here, and not here. I flip over here to my daily chart, and I can immediately look at this and say, is it a 3-bar play in the right environment? And I can see, if something's gapping up above, previous resistance, then I can say, okay, yeah, it does look good. Flip right back over here, and then I'll start getting my order together. So that's all I do, is just basically get mid-cap and larger stocks and then order them by how much they've gained or by what their volume is right now. And the top gainers, I just start clicking through them to see what's going to happen. And so this morning, they weren't top gainers. MDB and PG weren't. But after I didn't see anything initially, I was coming through here and just happened to see MDB. I missed that 2-minute play. But if we flip over to the 15-minute chart, I looked over here and said, oh, wait a minute, we're kind of getting something set up here. So I saw the 15-minute play right here on MDB. So that's how I find them. Just wanted to update you guys on that. And if you have any questions, leave those below as well for me. So really good day for me. I ended up being up about 2.35 R on the day, which is my, my risk unit. My R unit is $50 right now. So really, really good. And over the past 3 weeks, we are green on the previous 3 weeks. So I feel like the tide is sort of shifting. We're kind of getting into that profit zone where, honing in and sticking to one strategy is really helping me and really helping me become consistent and good at that one thing. And now that I'm tracking it all the time, I'm getting some numbers to put behind it, a win rate to put behind it, and as long as I'm keeping things, trying to get things to 2 to 1, I think it's going to really be a profitable thing moving forward. So those are my 2 trades today, P&G and DBM. I hope you guys had a great day. We are actually, let me actually flip over real quick before we do anything else. Let's talk for just a second about AMD. We've been watching AMD all week, and on the daily chart with AMD, we had that zone marked off. We were kind of in this wedge, and we said anything above 30 is game. And look at this, just ripped. So AMD is actually, we've drawn that box all the way up to $34. So AMD is moving through that range that we sort of talked about it last Sunday. So this has been a really good, it's been great to kind of talk about a stock and then see what it's going to do over the week because it's done great. So anytime it went above 30, we were looking really good, and it crossed that 30 threshold yesterday. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it opened, so, looking for entries, pre-market high at 30.44 with a rip above it. Possibly could have bought it as a break above the high, above the pre-market high, and then you would have been looking really good to just hold that going through into today. And I honestly think that this is a swing trade that you could hold moving forward into, into the weekend and into Monday. So it's trading at 32.55 right now. The market's going to close in about 35 minutes, but just showing a lot of strength. So super excited about AMD. We're going to talk more about it on Sunday's stock picks, sort of our stock talk of the week. We're going to finish talking about AMD and ultimately where it went for the week, and then we're going to pick another stock and move forward for the next week on that. So if you guys have any suggestions or stocks you're watching that you want to review for the stock pick of the week, let me know in the comments, and I'll take that into consideration, and maybe we'll review that one. So anyway, hope everybody had a green day. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Sunday for the stock talk, the stock pick of the week, and we'll see you there. Thanks. Bye.